Let's get into it. Coach Colin TV, what's going on, guys? You love to see it. Oh, man, so many nice things happening in the media nowadays. Piers Morgan usually is the guy who facilitates the angry back and forths. You know, he gets a bunch of people on screen and just lets them go at it. He kind of just sits back and he's just like, all right, we just made $100,000 on this video. Listen, can't knock it. I don't watch it a whole lot, but I can't knock it. And this time, he doesn't even just facilitate it. He makes sure to get in there. And who does he get in there with? None other than Don Lemon. Fantastic. Now, they go back and forth because Piers Morgan wants to talk about cancel culture. And he kind of brings up Don Lemon's past in regards to cancel culture. And for some reason, this sends Don Lemon into a tantrum of sorts. And Piers Morgan handles it very well. And they have this very heated back and forth. And let's get right into it. I love it. Don Lemon just trying to salvage his propagandist career. You know, it's really hard. Like, I'm independent media, right? Comedic entertainment type of stuff. But as a propagandist, it must be so hard as an independent one, right? You always need the shielding of the CNN or the NBC or the ABC. And without that, it's just so hard because you look nuts when it comes to your views. So, you know, we're all not praying for Don Lemon, but but I'm not wishing any harm to him whatsoever. Let's get into it.
Whatever it is that they want. If you break the rules, their codes of conduct, then you have to suffer the circumstances. So, look, I 100% unequivocally believe that no one should be celebrating anything. And if any of those people broke the rules of their employer, their codes of conduct, then they should be disciplined or fired if it warrants it.
Do you agree?
But I don't believe in canceling people.
Right.
I think there's a lot of cancellation going on the right now, and I'm not comfortable with it.
Do you feel?
I wasn't comfortable with it on the left either.
Right. Do you feel you were a victim of cancel culture at CNN?
I probably. I don't think. I look at everything as an opportunity. Probably yes. I'm sure that I was a victim of cancel culture, but I would say mostly on the right for cancel culture.
For those who don't know what I'm talking about, this is what led to you leaving CNN. Let's take a look at the clip.
She says people, you know, politicians or something are not in their prime. Nikki Haley isn't in her prime. Sorry. When a woman is considered to be in her prime in her 20s and 30s and maybe 40s.
What are you talking? Wait.
That's not according to me.
Prime for what?
It depends. I mean, it's just like prime. If you look it up, if you Google when is a woman in her prime, it'll say 20s, 30s, and 40s. I don't necessarily.
40s. Oh, I got another.
I'm not saying
decade.
I agree with that. So I think she has to be careful about saying that.
When you watched that, Don, I happened to be watching that live, and I was like, "Whoa, what did you just say?" I mean, if you had a do-over?
That's actually a hilarious thing to say. That's like Nick Fuentes level. That's what Nick would say on camera. He'd be like, they got their 20s and their 30s, and you know, some of them hold up into their 40s, but that's about it. And honestly, I don't think they should be anywhere near positions of power. He would go in on some stuff like this. Surprising to hear it from Don Lemon, but also kind of true. Everybody has their primes. You know, I don't think men are in their primes in their 60s, 70s. Joe Rogan, 50s. Pretty surprising how this guy's held up. He's almost 60 years old. But usually in yesteryear, our parents, you know, the parents we grew up seeing as kids, they were done by like 49. They were just like, oh, God, are you going to college yet? They were finished. It was weird to see. Anyway, let's get into it. I'm one of those people now. Oh, God, getting old, got knee pain.
Would you say that again? I mean, what led you to say that?
Okay, Piers, let me just say this. I'm going to answer your question, but just so the audience knows, and I hope you don't cut this out, when I asked you what subjects you wanted to talk about, you know what you said to me? You said, I want to talk to you about freedom of speech in America and the response to Charlie Kirk's death.
Yeah.
Not once did you mention that we were going to talk about CNN or whatever. So, and had I known that, I probably wouldn't have accepted this interview. You have invited me on many times, and I tell you, Piers, I know you. I would come on your show, but I don't do panels. And so when you said I'm not going to be involved in a panel, I agreed to come on your show. But I thought you would also stick by the subjects that you told me that you were going to talk about.
Just to be clear,
rather than try to ambush me with something.
Just to be clear,
so,
you and I
yes.
haven't. Well, Don, just to be clear, you and I haven't had any conversation about your appearance here. You're talking about my team talking to you.
Yeah, no, and I saw you, Piers, in a restaurant, and I said, hey, Piers, good to see you.
Yeah.
I would come on your show, but I don't do panels.
Right,
And
you're
I
not
said
on
the
a
same
panel.
thing to your bookers.
There's only one
and
of
so
you,
when
Don.
I asked you, and right, okay, and so, yes, and I said that's why I agreed to do it. But when you asked me, or when your team asked me what subjects, and I asked them 2 or 3 times, I have the text messages, what do you want to cover?
Yeah.
Not once was CNN mentioned. So I don't appreciate being ambushed, but let me answer your question since
Hang on
we're
one
here.
second. No, Don,
Okay?
Don, hang on 1 second. Let's just be crystal clear about what's just happened. You brought up the subject of cancel culture. I asked you, did you feel your departure from CNN was an example of that? And you answered the question. And I think it's perfectly reasonable.
And I answered the question.
Perfectly reasonable in that if you'd said to me, I don't want to
Piers, I
talk
don't
about
think
it, fine.
it's-
No, but hang on, no, so
Piers,
sorry.
that
You said what you're going to
that
say.
is
By the way,
completely
we don't,
disingenuous.
Don,
I don't want to
we
get
don't, we
Piers,
don't edit.
I don't like arguing like this. I'm not going to get into an argument with you. Piers, I think that's completely disingenuous. And I think anyone watching that
What are you
will know
talking
that.
about?
And so if you will allow me, please,
What
please
are you
stop
talking
interrupting
about?
me, okay? Did you invite
Man, this is just when you don't have CNN to just cut up everything for you, or a little thing in your ear where you can just say, cut his microphone off, and you don't have all those little tools that they give you, you really see who this guy is. I mean, I love to see it. And he's just so bad at handling this whole thing. Pierce, I don't like this question because you told me I wouldn't be on a panel. You're not on a panel, Don. Well, I feel a little ambushed. And he thinks that CNN's going to take it and they're going to put it at the bottom of the screen. Don Lemon ambushed by rowdy British person. No, Don. No. It's not how this works, buddy. Looks like a fool, man. Let's keep going.
me here to interrupt me, or are you going to let me
I think you're
answer the
being a
question?
complete dick, if I'm honest with you.
Okay.
I do.
Well, that's very kind and respectful of you.
It wasn't intended to be kind
I
or
don't like the ad
respectful.
hominem attacks. I could respond in kind,
You
but
can say
I
what you
won't
like about
because
me. I don't
think
care.
that I think that I'm above that. I'm not going to do that, Piers. That's not who I am.
I don't understand
do
why
ad
you're
hominem
playing the
attacks.
victim
I
card
don't-
when
I
you
don't do personal
yourself
attacks.
mentioned cancel culture.
Because Piers, oh my gosh. Okay, hold on. Let me do this.
What are you going to do?
Here we
Read
go.
out my
If you
team's
want me to do
messages
this,
to you?
Piers, it should be embarrassing. Yeah, I can read out the team messages to you because I
What
just
are
think
you
it's
prepared to
completely
talk about then,
unfair,
Dom?
and you know that. I'm prepared to answer your question, and then I'm going to move on. I told you I'm prepared to talk about Charlie Kirk's death, the response to it, and cancel culture, and and freedom of the press,
So
and freedom of speech.
you
I'm
were prepared to talk about
that. But
cancel
let me just
culture, or
answer,
you weren't?
Unless you. No. I'm not prepared
you're
to
not
talk.
prepared to
I
talk
can
about
talk
cancel
cancel culture, but that has. Oh my God, Piers, could you stop interrupting me?
No, really, you're kind of exhausting me. It's
Something?
ridiculous. Why would
All right,
you
do you-
react
do you
this
wanna
way to a
continue with
perfectly
this? Are you
normal?
gonna let me talk?
Obviously, if you mention cancel culture, obviously it's rational and logical that I would
gosh,
ask you
Piers, can you
whether you felt what
please-
happened to you at CNN was that. I play the clip
Piers,
and then you throw
I've
a
given
hissy
you
fit.
a moment. Enough. I've given you your moment.
I don't
This
want
is
a
going to go
moment.
viral. So please,
I don't want a
enough.
moment,
Yes, you
Don.
do. Otherwise, you wouldn't do this. Otherwise, you would be a respectful journalist and host, and
I
you
don't
would
think
let
I'll
me
take
talk, but you
lectures on
keep
being a
jumping
respectful
in
journalist
because
from
you
you,
want a
Don.
moment. Oh my gosh, Piers.
I won't.
I can't even hear because there's a delay, and you keep talking, and
I love this. You have no idea. And again, I always say the same thing with Jimmy Kimmel. Anybody who was trying to divide society and make the people who stood tall through 2020 into second-class citizens, to making us feel dumb, to making us feel like we're just nuts for thinking the way we're thinking, they deserve every bit of what they get when it comes to the negative side of life. Straight up. I'll never forget it. Turning family members against family members. I'll never forget it. And he was one of the biggest perpetrators of that. And now this is his life. That's what happens. That's how God works. I love the way God works. You're wicked. What did he say? He said something about when you're wicked, your name will rot. Your name is going to rot when you're a wicked person. And that's exactly what's happening to this Lemon.
I mean, what do you want me to do? Like rip the earpiece out in the mic and run off so you have a
No,
moment?
I don't care.
Are you
You
going
do
to let me
whatever you
answer the
like.
question? Are you just going to keep pillaring me with questions?
I don't know why you've gone on this
and cutting me
weird
off
rant.
before I
I don't
answer?
understand any of it. Why have you done this weird reaction? I simply asked you about whether you felt your departure from CNN was, in your eyes, an example of cancel culture. I played the clip.
Piers,
and
you're
I then
embarrassing
said,
yourself,
I then
and
said,
I tried
when you
to-
watch it back, do you
Piers,
really understand what you were saying?
This is why I don't do this, but you're embarrassing yourself, Piers.
Actually, you might be embarrassing
and
yourself,
you are-
Dom.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah, you might be. Have you thought of that?
Okay.
You're a journalist. You don't want to talk about a story, a massive story that involved you?
Piers.
I love that he started laughing when Piers called him a journalist. He's like, you're a journalist. He's like, oh, that's right. They actually thought I was a journalist this whole time. Oh, man. I will say one thing about Don Lemon. The guy's in his 50s, looks great. Definitely still in his prime. Just looks fantastic. I don't know what he's going to do with all this, but looks great.
Can we move on? You can let me answer the question, and then we can talk about the things that you invited me on to
Why
talk
don't you
about.
just answer the question to start with?
And we've gotten so far away from what you wanted me to answer that we're off into La La Land. So let me say something about that. The clip that you played had nothing to do with me leaving CNN, okay? And unless you know something that I don't know about me leaving CNN, then you should tell me about it. It had nothing to do. I worked there for months after that, so that had nothing to do with it. And so, and I forget the other thing that you were asking me about in that clip. But
I asked you when you watched the clip
let's
back,
move on.
if you could explain what was going through your mind, that's all.
Thank you. I think the key phrases in that clip, if you want to be honest, and I want you to listen to it, is that I'm not saying that I believe that. That's not according to me. What I was speaking for there is how society treats women. And someone like Nikki Haley should know if women have been discriminated against for centuries. She should be more careful than to say something that discriminates against older people. That's it. And so people took that out of context. No one puts in whenever they write about it that I said, I'm not saying that. I don't believe that. I said that very clearly there. So that is not the reason that I was let go from CNN. And so again, unless you know something, then go ahead.
Well,
and tell
as
me,
you
but
know, it
that's
was
not-
widely reported that was. So
that's not what I know.
So what was the reason?
Don't believe everything you read.
What was the reason?
I don't know.
You don't know.
No.
But it all happened after that incident. You know that.
Yeah. Well, Piers, everything happens after something. I don't understand what your point is.
Well, my point is, I think it's quite newsworthy. If you say it had nothing to do with that, then it'll raise the obvious question.
I don't think it's newsworthy, Piers. That was 3 years ago.
Right.
That's it's not newsworthy. That news means something that's new. This isn't new.
Right.
That was 3 years ago. That's
Okay,
been
but it's
all
the first-
litigated.
it's
If
the
you want
first
to find
time
out
up-
about it, you are free to be able to read the interviews that I read. You're free to read the statement that perhaps your folks should pull up the statement when I left CNN, and that can explain to you what happened. So this is nothing new.
You
It's
just
all
told me
water
you've
under
no
the bridge.
idea why you
I
were
have
let
moved
go.
on. I'm doing something completely different, and so that's that.
Right, but you just said you've no idea why they got rid of you.
I did.
So how do you know it wasn't to do with the clip we just played?
I just said that. I just answered your question. Now, what else do you want to talk about?
What do you want to talk about, Dom?
The subjects that you invited me on to discuss, Piers.
I thought that included free speech and everything around that.
I know you're loving this viral moment. I just think that you're embarrassing yourself
I don't think
in
you
this
understand
moment,
what me
go
at
on.
all. I've got nothing against you at all.
He should just say to him, I don't think you understand viral at all. He's like, he should just say, I get 50 million views, 100 million across platforms. You get 250,000. This is not a viral moment for me. This is just a regular day for me. He's like, for Piers, I'm sure he'd much rather just have Destiny on and have Destiny scream at Dave Smith. He doesn't even have to do anything. Benny Johnson steps in, berades Destiny some more, maybe Chake or Chunk Yogurt, as so many people call him, from the Young Turks. Maybe he steps in a little bit. He gets his lower lip all pouty and starts screaming, foam at the mouth and stuff. That's the viral moments for Piers, not this with Don Lemon. This is just something that I myself love to see. This is the only type of news appearance that this guy deserves. The only type of news appearance this guy deserves. Well, 100%. And he agreed to do this because he thought it would be good for him. And I'm just so glad it's not. I'm so glad it's not.
Never have had. I was
Piers,
perfectly...
you think I don't understand you? Piers, I worked with you for years. I know more about you probably than most people who are watching this program and most people, a lot of the people who are working with you.
Why would
I worked with your staff. I inherited your staff at CNN. I know way more about you than I would care to know. I know way more about how you do business and how you approach journalism than I care to know. I have not been on anyone else's show. I don't want to be on anybody's show. I don't want to do panel shows. I don't want to argue with people about things that are inconsequential. What we should be talking about right now is how to keep what happened to Charlie Kirk from happening to anybody else. That's where the conversation should be. But instead, you're trying to get a moment. You're trying to make some news out of something. But go ahead. Have your fun. But we should be discussing something that is productive to the American people instead of you going into the garbage and trying to find something that will, give you a moment or that you will, get a click out of it or more viewers for your program.
You sound very bitter, Dom.
Piers, are you kidding me?
Oh, hold on. You got to hear this.
No.
Bitter. I'm the happiest go lucky person ever. I'm just
ever. Just the most happy-go-lucky person ever. Talking about reaching into the garbage and trying to have a moment. This is what Don Lemon has been doing when he's not on Piers Morgan recently. He's been trying to find black people and talk to them about what they think about Charlie Kirk because he knows that if he finds black people, he'll be able to have a moment because they'll hopefully be saying F Charlie. That's what he's looking for. But instead, he bumps into this.
What do you think would happen to Charlie Kirk?
It's just messed up, totally messed up. That was messed up. Like, nobody deserved that. He definitely didn't deserve that. He was a good guy.
You think he was a good guy?
I think he was.
You
Only
think?
Kirk you
Good
recognize
morals.
is Captain Kirk.
The what?
The only Kirk you recognize is Captain Kirk. I don't know Charlie Kirk. I don't know who that is.
You don't know who it is?
I don't know who that is.
I know who it was. Like,
I only know about him when
all of us have flaws. I can't really tell you what to believe in or how to feel. Like, everybody's having a human experience. Like, why knock him for having this human experience or what he believe in?
Even though even though he says things that are anti-women, black, all that.
That's what the woman's saying, no, that was messed up. And he's like, even though he said things that were anti-woman, anti-black, he's trying to trigger her into saying something terrible about Charlie Kirk. And then going to Piers Morgan and being like, hey, how dare you try to reach into the garbage and pull up a moment so you can get more clicks and views. How about that? Wow.
I can't judge him for that.
You can't.
I can't judge him for that. But I can use judgment. He didn't deserve that.
Right.
Yeah.
As a human being.
Yeah.
You are very spiritual.
Yeah.
No,
I
you
can't
sound
go
like,
left. I can't go left with that.
No, you sound like, you mean left, going
Yeah,
left,
like,
not left.
because I'm
right.
humanity.
Yeah.
I'm humanity and love first.
No, I love that. So the first person I spoke to here didn't want to be on camera, and he said, I can't judge him because I'm not God. And so let him, whatever the reaction is, if the government wants to give him a state-like funeral, if they let him do it because God is the only judge. And
Yeah, like, nobody really can judge him.
Yeah.
And, like, I kind of, like, seen him before all of this happened, but I don't see what everybody else was seeing.
Right.
So,
Yeah. Hey, that's how you feel.
Have a good
It's
one.
nice to
Okay.
see you.
That's amazing. Couldn't get it out of her. He wanted to get it out of her so badly. Man. And then the Piers Morgan thing, it just goes on like that a little bit more until Piers is just like, I'm pretty much done with you, Don. Like, that's it. It's, I'm telling you, that's all he deserves. That's all he deserves. He's one of those people that had no problem walking in, not a journalist, walking into a building saying, where's my script? Oh, here it is. This is what we're talking about. Let me get a good handle on it, and say whatever he had to say into the camera. And he would try and say it to us with conviction, and he would try to say it to us and by pulling on our heartstrings. And he would try to actually divide parts of society, whether it was white and black or doing the thing that everybody was supposed to do back 2020 or not doing the thing. He's trying to divide people every step of the way. And then finally, the own beast that he was feeding turned on him. and took him out. And now he is banished to street interviews. Banished to the street to talk to people who don't even know who they're talking to when they see him. Just so deserving of that. I love to see it. And honestly, I wish it happened to Chris Cuomo too. I'll be honest. I'm not talking about cancel culture. It's like, don't cancel them. But I don't think they should be doing well. I think they did horrible things. I think they did terrible things to society. And they still act like they did nothing. Knowing that they did that. They did that for money. They did that for money. They manipulated people's emotions and turned them against one another for millions of dollars. That's what they got in exchange. Again, I wish I knew that Bible verse when they talk about that. I wish I knew it. Bible verse about a man's name rotting who is wicked. I wish I knew it, man. I want to be able to say it. Proverbs 7, the memory of the righteous is a blessing, but the name of the wicked will rot. That is exactly what's happening to Don Lemon. And thank God for that. I'm out of here.